So I have some stuff that I need to use.
Right.
And I need your expertise of what is best.
Okay, so show me what we got.
So cherry tomatoes, these look pretty good.
Very
Some of
good.
them are kind of squished.
We're going to use them. We'll cut them in half. We'll put them in the salad.
Oh, okay, good. And now I told you about honey, and you were like,
well, we don't need the honey because, again, we don't want to go that sweet because honey can become very sweet, especially when you're cooking it. So for this, we're not going to need that.
Okay, so
we're
I'll
not going to need that. So that's fine.
Shiitake mushrooms.
Very
good.
I
feel about mushrooms.
Mushrooms have a good flavor, and of course, Shiitake is a very good brand. You could still go with button. You could go with a couple of different kinds.
Okay.
It all depends on basically how you want it to taste or how much of it you need.
Okay.
Depending on what's in your pantry.
Definitely. Now you do need to show me how to cut these because I'm not good at cutting.
Not a problem. You just dice them up, and I have a cleaver to do that, and I'll show you exactly how to cut through that.
Cleaver. So, look at this piece of ginger.
Now that piece is good. It doesn't look too leathery, meaning it's not dry. It doesn't look like it's that old. How many days have you had that?
I bought it like 2 days ago.
Okay, in the future, you never leave ginger out. You keep it in your crisper. And what you do is you make sure that you peel it all the way. You do not use the skin when you're ready to cook
Oh, that I do know. Can you use the skin and like throw it in like tea?
I wouldn't use the skin in a damn thing because it's disgusting.
Oh, really?
Plus, remember, ginger is actually a very dirty root.
Oh, that's true.
So the problem is you're actually it's like cooking the outside of a carrot.
Gotcha. So I bought chicken breast. I know we talked about chicken, but we
It's
didn't
good.
say which one.
Instead of doing chicken parts, it's going to be easier to work with. Plus, depending on how you slice the pieces, is how fast it can cook.
So I have an onion. You see my Spanish onion.
Good onion, good color.
Yeah, and I have this garlic. It's wonderful. Yes. I love it because, I don't have to really do any work.
Okay, but in the future, we're going to do garlic coming straight off the bulb to the clove.
From the bulb?
And we're going to use it where I'll show you how to take the skin off. It'll be a lot less as far as drying, and it'll also last a little bit longer.
But isn't it quicker without the bulb?
It's quicker, but it also will, unfortunately, it'll dehydrate faster. And that, unfortunately, means it's going to burn quicker when you're putting it in with your food.
And that's a good point, because some of this stuff, I use it, but some of it I have to throw away.
And remember, as long as it gets wet and it's in plastic, it's going to mold quicker.
Oh, that's true. Like I said, sometimes I have to throw the
regular bulbs
away.
of garlic you put in the crisper.
Yes. Oh, okay. Even the bulbs you put in.
That's right. You definitely do.
Oh, got it.
Plus, it creates a different smell in your refrigerator. You don't want the whole refrigerator to smell like garlic.
That's very true. Even with the baking soda in there, you can still smell. You've got garlic in there. Yeah.
That's right.
So baby spinach looks good, right?
Very good.
I just got this.
I'll show you how to even cut that up to put that in the salad. You don't have to use whole pieces.
Oh, good. Okay. And this avocado, we have to use this because it's kind of squishy. Feel it.
When it starts to feel like that, that means it is definitely in its ripest.
Okay.
And I'll even show you how to cut that open and actually spoon it out.
You know what? My knives are not as good as yours because I've tried to do that with the nut in there and forget it. It just doesn't come out.
I was able to do it with a nut and a spoon and it came out amazing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, so I have Basmati brown rice.
Which is better rice because the white rice is bleached. Basmati rice has more of a husk to it, and it's not only more natural, but it's much better for the digestion.
Okay. And because I'm hypoglycemic, you're a diabetic.
Right. So it's actually going to work together better.
Okay. Got it. And I have a rice cooker, so we could use that.
Oh, my goodness. With that, and then this other, I think I see bone broth there.
Yeah.
With that and the bone broth, it's going to be amazing with the taste.
Oh, okay. So we don't have to use water. We can use bone broth.
A little bit of water, a little bit of bone broth. There's a ratio that you work with.
Oh, okay. All right. And I love this bone broth because, first of all, I've bought this before, but it's savory. I love it, but it says chicken, beef, and turkey.
That's why it's savory, because they're putting all three of the different animals in there. Whereas, of course, sometimes it's just chicken, sometimes it's just beef, and sometimes it's just pork. It gives it a different flavor. It's a good infusion. And people actually can drink that, but you have to drink very little of it.
Yeah. I've had bone broth. Friends have made it from scratch in their home. Oh,
there you go.
God, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I love nuts. So you think we could do something with the nuts?
Probably. We just have to cut them up really, really fine. Probably put them in the grinder, the Cuisinart.
Oh, okay.
And since you don't have nut allergies, it doesn't become an issue.
Yeah, right. Thank goodness. I love nuts.
A lot of people go towards peanuts. Walnuts do have a different flavor.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. The peanuts are so, they're pedestrian, so that's why
Not only that, peanuts, too many people have peanut butter, so you're used to that taste. Walnuts have a different zing to them when you taste them.
That's true. So I have, you know how I like my grapeseed oil.
Now you don't have much. You don't have
Yeah.
much, but you don't need that much because we're doing it in a pan.
Oh, that's true.
Opposed to doing it in a pot where we're deep cooking anything.
Oh, yeah. No deep cooking. No deep cooking. All right. Oh, wait. I have my two favorite. I have a lemon and I have an orange.
Yeah, now the good thing about it is that for what we need, smells good.
Okay.
We would probably use the orange overall. The lemon would be for things like towards fish, other types of meals. But the orange, again, with the sweet factor, all depending on what we're going to add to it. We could even add the orange into the salad if we want to.
Oh, that's true. Now, that's why you would sometimes do lemon and a little honey.
Exactly. Right. Because then you're going with not the sour and the savory, but the sour and the spicy sometimes.
Got you. Well, that's it. Let's start cooking.
All right. That sounds good. And if anything, that looks like that's coming right out of your pantry. All right. So what do we got?
So for the rice, it's because it's the rice cooker, it's 1-to-1. So here's the little cup.
All right. So you put the 1 cup.
Right. So do I use this bone broth the whole thing?
No, you're going to use a quarter for bone broth, so 25% to 75% water.
Just water.
So it's going to be 3/4 water, 1/4 bone broth.
Got it. Okay.
It'll make a nice flavor. You don't want to taste the bone broth too much. You're giving it a flavor. And it's brown rice. So, brown rice, unfortunately, can be a little bland. But the bone broth is going to make it a nice savory flavor.
Oh, okay, good. So that's all for that.
Right. Regular tap water is always good because remember, you are cooking that at a high enough temperature where any bacteria that could be in it will basically cook off.
Yeah.
So it's not that serious.
Okay, we're good.
All right, so let's put it in, set it up.
Let me just check. A little bit more. Okay, that's good. Good.
In the future, when you're doing that, you don't take the pot back and forth.
You're
because
right.
eye level is bad. You take an actual cup and you pour the water in.
Got it.
It's a lot faster and it's also a lot safer.
True. But I have to do this for camera.
Yeah, you're doing it for the camera.
Yeah,
when it gets too wet and explodes, we'll do it for the camera too. Me calling the fire department, you getting in a gurney, you smiling at the firemen. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I love it. And I'm just going to stand here with the camera saying, you guys cook at the station, right?
Okay, and now we wait for this to get done.
All right, very good.
I've always been told you don't rinse mushrooms. You like wipe them off or something.
You wipe them off because if you rinse them, you're going to make them too wet and some are already hydrated enough.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, also the reason you wipe them off is because there will be a little bit of a fungus on them.
Right.
Like you see it on here. And all you need to do is just wipe that enough to take that off.
Oh, okay.
And being that these are toadstool style,
Okay.
we're not going to be cooking with this part.
Oh, so you don't
So
you
I'm
only
gonna
cook
cut
with
that
the
as
little
close
cap.
to what I can.
I got it.
It's just going to be the caps.
I got it.
So all I'm going to do is get one little paper towel. That's enough. I'm going to pretty much set up each one. And if you notice the way I'm cutting, right to the inside.
Oh, okay.
Right to the inside. That piece becomes
And that
garbage.
piece you just throw it away, right?
That piece becomes garbage.
Okay.
So
Now, how do you
this.
cut up the caps?
I'll show you how to cut the caps up. And even though this is a small one, it's going to be of the same nature. Okay? Now, with the cap, I want to go long. I want to go long again.
Your hand's in the way.
And you notice I always make the blade go away from me.
Okay, all right.
And then with the two pieces the way they are, I can actually cut them just like this. I line it up, and all I want to do is just make small little pieces. I don't need to have them that big. The nice thing about mushroom is that it does shrink. And even with like these two being an odd size, I can go that way. Because if you notice, all the chunks are very close to the same size.
Okay, great. That looks like the coolest thing ever. I've never chopped up garlic with a cleaver.
Well, first of all, one thing about a cleaver, especially the kind like I have, it's already what's considered rolled. And that's because of the angle. So if you look at what we're working with,
nice.
See how the knife is curved? Meaning that when I have one part up, the other part then comes down, and then I can actually go back and forth.
I didn't know you could roll with a cleaver.
So if I want to mince I can do it in a way where I'm just moving the blade sideways. The blade is sharp enough where I don't have to hold the actual garlic pieces.
Cool.
And of course, that's also for safety's sake, because the last thing you want to do is have your hand under something like this.
Definitely. Okay, so here's chopping up the onion.
All right. Now we're only going to use half an onion because of how much volume of chicken we actually have.
Oh, good. So we don't have. We don't need that whole. Okay.
Now with the onion, there's only 2 ways to basically take care of it. The half you don't need, just put to the side for now.
Okay.
You have this laid down.
Right.
Away from you with the knife.
So that way.
You cut this piece off. Now, if you notice, inside has a little black in there. And unfortunately, that's because it's really kind of spoiled a little bit.
All right, all right.
But that's something we can work around.
Because you could cut that, right?
Right. So let me show you what we do. You always make sure you take off all the skin, because it's not that you can't cook with that. It's just that, of course, obviously, that's a different taste and flavor. You can always peel the first layer of onion off, because this is a skin more than it is the actual, like the fruit would be.
Okay.
See how it's so different in the look?
Right. Got it. It looks pretty, actually.
The nice thing about it is, this piece, if I want to, now I can cut off a little bit better. And I can see how far it goes down, because I see it's white on the inside, but it's black on the outside. So I may have to cut one more thin layer. And look.
Perfect.
See how my onion is now?
Got it.
So this part I discard.
Okay.
Don't worry about cutting the little pieces that almost look like
the knobby pieces?
The knobs of wood. Just cut across and just try to cut as much of the skin off as you can.
Right.
Because it's only the fleshy part of the ginger you're going to use.
Right, of course.
Right, so you're trying to cut one straight cut. You don't need to saw. With this knife, you don't need to saw at all because it's sharp enough where it would take almost your finger off.
So how much of this ginger are you going to need?
I'm probably going to use half of this.
Okay.
But I got to cut all of it off because unfortunately, there's no way to do half and then try to save half because I'm going to be opening up one side.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mince the whole thing up.
Okay.
And then just store the rest away.
Okay. Okay, so I noticed you cut up the chicken last. Why did you do that?
Right. Okay, whenever you have things like a piece of chicken, but yet still you have other parts like the ginger, like the onion, like the garlic, and of course like the mushroom, you're going to use the one cutting board because a lot of people use different cutting boards for everything.
Right.
If you're going to use the one cutting board, you use the chicken last so you don't have any cross-contamination. And there's always the issue, of course, of what most people are concerned about is what comes out of chicken.
Yeah, true.
So with that, it's much easier to cut the chicken last. You give your board a good scrub. Everything else has been done, and you're not, because that way you're not mixing things together, even if they do wind up in the pan together.
Got you.
And it doesn't wind up staying in the board because you're cutting that. Then you're making deeper cuts with the other parts.
Right. Okay. Got it. Makes sense.
Coat the pot.
Right.
And that should be enough.
Because that's a lot of chicken.
If I have to add more, I can add more even when I'm mixing, as long as I know it cooks all the way through.
Got you.
And if I have to, I raise the temperature, and that cooks it down a little bit better.
Okay, good.
Now, I already have figured out how much of this I'm going to need, which is pretty much most of it. So again, like I said, we're going to add the onions first.
Okay.
And now I can turn it up if I want to. But I don't touch the stove with the same hand that I'm touching the food with.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if I am going to turn it up, and by the way, after this I change my gloves. I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to give it a mix.
Can you do the chef's toss?
I don't want to toss this. First of all, this is stuck to oil.
Okay.
You want oil to catch fire? We'll have those same firemen back like Okay, now. The other hand, a little bit of the mushroom.
So you just let these sweat and then you throw those in,
Exactly.
huh? I got it.
But we're going to wait a few minutes now because we don't want this to cook so fast or so slow that we can't get anything going.
Got it. That looks good.
Yeah. And if you could smell this,
Oh,
we have to figure
wow.
out a way to videotape smell.
Very
That's
true.
gonna be interesting. So now that we've got the ginger, the onion, and the mushroom in, we have it sweating enough, and also, of course, the aroma's already coming up.
Smells
I raised
great.
the flame a little bit. I just put a dash of literally some water in there, just to keep it hydrated enough, because now we're going to throw in the garlic. Not that big of a piece, not minced, but also to a very small still dice. And we don't need to use all of it because we can still take all of this, bag it up, and put it back into plastic so we can use it for the next time. This will be just what you add when you have to do it again, but this will be the first stuff you use.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get a nice little cook going. You see how it's starting to stick again? I can either use my bone broth if I want to.
It's in the
Give it a
fridge.
splash.
It's in the fridge. You see it behind the water?
Yes. Because if I want to make anything to have a liquid with a flavor already in it, I can use the broth. Now notice I pour close and not high, and I only need to add a little bit. You hear the difference already? Mm-hmm. And if you could smell the difference, you'd even understand more.
Mm-hmm.
Give it another flip. Look how nice that looks. Now remember, we don't want this to be completely cooked because we still want to have it where it's going to attach itself to the chicken. So now we start adding the chicken, and the good thing about the way we cut it is we could literally add a piece at a time if we want.
But because we're hungry?
We're going to just go a little bit faster. We'll add 3 pieces at a time, maybe even 4. I may just throw the whole thing in and then just throw it up in the air.
Now, do you need salt? If you need salt, it's behind you.
And there is kosher salt. I may just put a dash of it in. That is good salt. I prefer that over the iodized because that's really high in sodium, where the kosher salt is not. It cooks off a little bit better.
That looks really good. Now, I have 2 other spice things that I use a lot.
I see you have turmeric. We wouldn't need that for this.
Okay.
But turmeric is a very good thing to add. It's
Okay.
also very heart healthy too.
How about herb de Provence? I know
Now,
you said maybe.
Herb de
about that,
Provence
right?
is always good. We could put a little bit in that now.
Okay.
If you want to, since you have that can,
Mm-hmm.
take a little bit of pinch. And as I mix this, I want you to throw it in there. So give me 1 second to do that.
Okay. And it's funny because this company, you know, since, you know, they're not at the farmer's market.
Right.
They were at the farmer's market all the time.
Okay.
I went and got this online.
Very
But
good.
at the farmer's market like 3 years ago, I swear by these people that, you know, they're not affiliated with this channel, but, you know, still spice professors.
Right.
And, but I love them. And so Kyle, big pinch, what do you think?
Big pinch is fine.
Okay. What do you think? Like this? This is good?
Yes.
Okay. And you taught me this. You do it high.
Do it high so you can spread it around. That's good. Are you finished?
Yes I am.
Beautiful. Now I can take the grapeseed oil if I want to give it a little bit more time to cook, and it'll slow down the burn. And I just drizzle it across.
So do you need
In
any
one little
kosher
circle.
salt?
A dash of the kosher salt, literally just a pinch.
That's too much.
Next time when you do that, you throw out the extra because your hands are not clean to put it back.
Well,
in.
they are clean. I've washed them how many times since you've been here? But like this much is good, right?
That's good, that's good. All right, we're done. Now, the only thing left is to mix it up. And I just need you to give me that wooden spoon. Very good. Nice size, flat, has the grooves in it and everything, so I can dig if I want to. Since this is not sticking, it's not going to scratch. And if you look, already the chicken is turning white, and everything else is starting to caramelize.
Now, how long do you leave it?
You're going to make sure, that's why I have this piece that of course is a prod, this blue thing that's in my arm. When I can go through and it will stick, then I know all the chicken is finished.
Oh,
So it
okay.
won't be that long. That's why it's not having the flame high. It's why you put the chicken last.
Okay, that looks really good.
Yeah,
That
we're
looks
actually
really,
done.
really good. We're done?
Yep.
But I don't get it. How do you know? I mean, it looks like it's done to me, but how do you know?
Observe.
Wait a minute. What is that?
This
Show me that.
This is actually for cake, but it's also for any kind of poultry.
Uh-huh.
So what's good about it is that you can just simply do this.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And if it doesn't stick, that means that you know that it's already done.
Oh, wow.
And if you look, both sides of all the chicken are done. It still has a nice moisture to it. These are not going to be little hard pieces or anything. Take it off the flame first. Take it off the flame first. And then we just turn it off.
Oh.
And that is our finished product.
Oh. You know, we forgot the salad.
Yeah, but you know what? We can do that after or another time.
Plus,
we're very hungry anyway.
Yeah, right. We're hungry, so we're going to eat this. Hair out of the way. Mmm. I like the mushrooms. It gives it a light flavor.
And even the ginger gives it a flavor. The basmati rice with the bone broth has a flavor, and it doesn't taste like just brown cardboard rice, like a lot of the brown rices taste like. And unfortunately, that's their biggest problem. So this is what was in your pantry.
You never know what you get in the pantry.
And I think it came out very good.